Yeah, I thought we practiced better last week and played a little bit better. Still not close to where I think this team could be at. I still think there's some things our team really got to look at, reflecting on themselves and what they're giving to their teammates and for this team, and are they really trying to make themselves better and this team better and making the right decisions. And to me, it's just come down to making sure we're doing things right in the classroom first, and then in the weight room, during practice, are you giving 100% effort in all aspects of your life? And I think when this team really buys into that, I think this team could really excel and be great at a lot of different things and win a lot of ball games. But I am pleased with the win. I'm glad they fought, all the way through it, even though we didn't play real well in the fourth quarter. I didn't think, but there was progress made, but still not near where I wanted to be at this point. It is, because last year's group, I mean, they just came to practice every day and they loved it and they went hard and everything was just done, properly, and you didn't have to worry about those guys, and you'd think that would carry over, to the next group because they learned from those guys, and but every group's different, you got to push guys a little bit different. Maybe, I'm not a rah-rah guy during practice, but, I'm turning to be that rah-rah guy and get some excitement and enthusiasm going, and guys just holding each other accountable. They might call out the freshman, but the junior that's not doing things the right way, we're afraid to call him out. And, it's just guys taking more ownership in this program right now. I mean, I feel like we got some great seniors and some great leaders, and I think we've got a lot of talent on this team. But, I'm afraid they just kind of sit back a little bit and, wait for somebody else to make the play instead of them making the play. But hopefully last week's win will change that. They'll see the progress that they made during practice of getting after a little bit harder. You win ball games, and hopefully that carries into this week. But we step it up another notch. Because we're going to have to. Especially coming down. We're only 3 games in. We got 8 more to go, and if we want to be great at the end and at the top at the end, we got to change the way we're doing some things. It has, he's been playing there a long time, and there's a lot, there's some young guys underneath him, but Wyatt's done a good job of, you know, following Nathan Shepard, and doing the things that Nathan was doing. I mean, he's strong, he's powerful, he's quick, can make a lot of things happen on the on the D line, and he can wreak havoc if he wants to. And I think with him, I think he plays hard, most of the time, but I think there's still more in there in his tank that he can give a little bit more, and but he's played really well, and last week was just kind of a glimpse of what I think he could be, with the things that he did. So hopefully, that carries over again to this week as well with him, and he amps up another notch in practice, and I think with most of our guys, it's just focusing on the little stuff, little techniques, footwork, hand placements. I mean, just every little thing, backs reading, the blocks right, guys doing their job every single time. I think that's what it comes down to, is just having that extra little bit of focus and practice on just the details and making themselves better so they're ready on Saturday. And that goes to the film study too, really focusing in on film of your opponent and who you're going against on every play, and knowing your opponent very, very well. So, but no, I'm proud of Wyatt and what he's done, and but I still think there's more in there, and I think he knows there's more in there, and I like to see more out of him. But he's done good up to this point. He just needs there's a little bit more. I can see it in him, and I know it's in there, so we just need to get it out of him. It's downhill, and that's all we talked a lot about, is downhill, downhill, downhill. I don't care if we get 2 yards, 3 yards, and with our O-line and the way we can run the ball, if we get 3 yards one carry, 4 yards another, and get 3 yards another carry, that's a first down. And eventually, those short runs are going to turn into long runs, and that's the most important thing, is getting them to teach them how to run downhill. Trust your blockers. It might not be a big seam, but it's a big enough seam to get through. And if you lower your shoulder pads and get through there, and know, being a defensive guy that I am, and now I'm the running backs coach, I want them to run with a defensive mentality. We're going to bring the punishment to the linebackers and to the safeties and to the linemen, and you're not going to arm tackle me, and we're going to try to get our opponent to quit, and get tired of tackling us. And once we can start doing that and play physical every single play, we're going to break off some long runs, and that's what I'm looking for. They did. They did some good things. I mean, there's still a few things they got to work on, just technique-wise and just the mental and physical toughness of the game. I still think we need a few of our guys need to turn it up, and play more physical and quit being so timid and trusting what we're coaching them. And I think if they can do that, this O-line could be, a very, very good one. And if don't know if it's going to be the best we've had here, but could possibly be up top, with some of those groups. But it's just a couple of those guys really want to get their mentality right of, this is a physical football. Football is a physical game, and a lot of it's mental. If you're mentally tough and mentally want to, get after somebody for 4 quarters, good things happen. But if you're one of those guys that's, kind of gun shy and kind of soft, good things aren't going to happen for you. But it's a process, and some of these guys need to figure it out pretty quick and just change the way they practice and change their mentality a little bit. We'll see how practice goes. I just think we need to get Chance some reps and get him ready. Because he is the future. Of Fort Hays. I don't want him to come into week 1 next year and not seeing him play any snaps at all and not knowing what he's about. He's great in practice, does things well, but you never know until you get in the game of what a kid's going to do. And he did exactly what we thought he was. He's a competitor. He made the right reads. He can extend some plays and make things happen. So, I think moving forward, we still got to get him reps and get him ready and get him prepared, to play this game, because you never know. You always got to have 2 quarterbacks, especially in this conference, as physical as it is, and as the number of blitzes that you get and twists. Somebody's going to come free, and your quarterback's going to get banged up a little bit. So, he's got to be ready, and so we got to keep him ready. And the only way to do that is by getting him reps. And the more reps he gets, the better he's going to get, and the more comfortable he's going to feel back there. So, moving forward, that's probably the plan. Our offense is our offense, and he runs it very, very well and knows it very well, just like Jake does. So you don't want to try to change too much, because that affects other players as well. And then they got to start thinking about different things besides just the game plan for one guy. So, they're going to be very similar. Maybe a little bit more of the quarterback run game, if anything. But, Jake does those same things as well. So, but, you can't change too much. You just got to do what you do offensively. And, as the years go on, we'll start adding more to his plate. But for right now, we're just going to keep the package simple and where it is, for him so he can feel comfortable while he's in there. I have, he's done a good job, with the punting and the field goals, and we kind of handed over the kickoff to the freshman, Nathan this week, and just to take a little bit of pressure off of him. But he's done well with it, and that's a lot of pressure in high situations, and if you shank a punt, it gives the opponent a great field position. You miss a long field goal, same thing. So, but he's stepped up in some high pressure situations and made some very, very nice kicks, and he's made some long ones too. Last week he had a long one, but they roughed him, so we got to move it up. But then he got to kick a shorter one. So, but I am pleased with him. And he got hurt that week in practice, and and fought through it, and got himself back on the field and took care of business and made some nice plays for us in that game. So I'm very pleased with his performance so far. It just protection-wise, it seems a little easier. Gives you guys more time to get downfield, and cover. Where before, you got straight back and you got to protect and protect and protect, and then you can finally go cover and to give those returners tons of time to have space to run. Where we're trying to condense that down to one side of the field as well. Dante can do both, but he's more comfortable with the rugby part of it, and our kids are probably more comfortable with that as well. It's just the game has changed over time, and it's just kind of the way people do things these days. I brought that here when I first got here. I think we started with the pro-style punt when I was first here, but as things evolved, we've kind of evolved with it, and we like it because you can get on the ground rolling around, and who knows where that ball is going to bounce. One bad bounce can get you the ball back, which happened last week against Washburn, and it's happened a number of times so far. So, I think it's just tough on a return guy and tough on a punt block team to actually get blocks and to actually get a good return. So we're going to use it to our advantage just like everybody else is. Last year's group, I wouldn't worry about it one bit. This year's group, this is a week that we have to mature and be mature young men and get ourselves better. We know they're 0-3 right now. We know they're having some troubles there, losing their coach, especially this week. And then the new guys stepping in. Did the kids at Southern like Denver Johnson? Did they not like Denver Johnson? Are they excited? Are they upset? You don't know. Maybe they play harder for this next guy. Maybe they don't. So, you really don't know how to take it this week in practice. But, we got to take care of ourselves and making sure that we're getting better and we're doing the things possible to get better each week. And, we can't worry about Southern and what's happening there. We just got to be prepared for their best, because I'm sure that we're going to get their best. They're going to come out and they're going to play hard and play physical, but we got to find a way to get up on them and see if we can score some points and keep them off the board. But kids are funny. You just don't know how they're going to react to it. They might come out and play their best game of the year, because there's been a change, or they might come out and feel sorry for themselves. You just don't know. But kids are resilient. They always bounce back pretty quick. And I can see them being ready and being excited for us to come to town and try to knock us off. It is, but you're kind of at this part of the season now, and they've kind of done what they've done defensively and what they've done offensively. So you would think they'd kind of stick to those things, but you never know. Maybe we need to prepare for a three-man front now instead of the four-man front. Maybe offensively they do more RPOs, or they turn into an option team now, but there's not much time to work on that in 1 week's time. So you would think they would stay very similar to what they've been doing, but you never know with the new guy taking over what he does. And so we're gonna just prepare our kids, the best that we can, offensively and defensively for anything they might throw at us. And if we just assignment sound and do our jobs and do what we're supposed to, things will work out. But if we're not, and we just kind of go through the motions and do our own things and are selfish, it's going to be a dogfight, and they got a great chance to win this ball game. So we got to take care of ourselves and make sure we're prepared, and we're ready to go on Saturday, and not worry so much about Southern and what they're doing.
It's going pretty well. I mean, I'd like to be a little bit more consistent on the punting side. Still waiting to get back to the standard I'm used to being at for that. But the task hasn't been too much for it. I think I've been doing pretty well. In high school, I did both, so getting back to being conditioned to be able to do both really wasn't too much of a jump. With about a week into camp, I was pretty good with it. I was coming into last week's game really trying to, it's not make up for last week, but I mean, get back to the standard I'm used to performing at, hold myself to a high standard. It was, going 100% on kicking was good for me, so I think it helped out. It's something I've adapted to since being here. Find with the athleticism and changing the block point, it helps our team be able to cover downfield, and it really minimizes the returns a lot more. So I kind of like it because, it gets me to be able to roll out, and then it frees up the special teams to be able to do a few different things instead of being confined to the box, like the tackle box that we do the normal punt. I guess it depends on the game plan, but hasn't come up yet, but
Do you want the green light?
if I can take off for 60 and go for 6, why not? It's good. It's like me and Brandon have been pretty good friends since I got here. He was one of the first people I met. So it's nice to have him as a mentor, and really, because he's gone to the next level in the sense that he's been at the mini camps and been around the NFL guys and everything, and that's where I'm trying to go. So to have somebody who's already been there, it's really, I guess it's motivating, and then on top of that, he's got a lot of tidbits and everything to help out, so he's a good coach. Yeah, St. Joe's was an interesting situation. I think a lot of the guys that came out of that situation ended up in better places than that. So I think a lot of us would come off and say it was a blessing in disguise. I would have thought I would end up in Hays, Kansas, but I'm here. We won a conference championship. I'm part of a program that has helped me out a lot, and I think I've helped out as well, and I think it's a good fit for me here as well. It was a really interesting, because I had asked for my release right before everybody else got the news, but it was sort of going around that there was issues, and the coaches hadn't told us yet. So when I got my release, it was just really starting the recruiting process all over again. It was sort of like high school. You're calling coaches and trying to get in touch with people and getting to camps and all that stuff. So it's stressful because you don't really know where you're going to end up or you're going to be able to play football again. And then after my whole situation with the Canadian school, Fort Hays really just came in at the last second and gave me an opportunity. And I'm very grateful for it. It's been a lot of fun. I can't lie. We put in the work for sure. It wasn't an easy road to win a conference championship, but who doesn't love winning?
Yeah, a loss, is never good, and a win just tastes that much sweeter. So it was good to bounce back and, recover and get another victory under the belt. I think it is. We once had 4 hours of film, and Coach bumped it up to 6, and I think that was a good move because doing the little things and preparing is really what Saturday nights are all about. And putting in that effort and all that work really does help, and helps on the field out there. And that's a very big key with any football game, because every offense wants to come out and establish the run, open their pass game up. But if they can't establish the run, then that means that we're doing our job. Defense is playing well, and that helps our DBs, because they're not able to pass or run. Definitely. I got in a couple plays freshman year, and from even last year, the game has slowed down a lot for me. Just playing more, being out there, being able to see things better, move things better. Losing Nate was a big loss, but I do think that we still need to improve. We still have some holes to fill, because that caliber type of player is, you're always going to miss something when you lose that kind of player. I just think personally, from the last 3 years being in the MIAA, that no game is really a weak game, and I think all the opponents out there are going to give us our best. So we got to prepare as we're playing a national championship game every week. It feels good, and I think we have a lot of support from lacrosse, and I love that. I enjoy it, and I'm glad I have another classmate on the field with me.
It's been tough. I feel like my whole life I've been a big guy. I feel like I'm pretty dynamic. So really the biggest transition was just getting used to the run blocking and that physical aspect of it. But really, when it comes to the mental aspect of it, it wasn't too much of a hard transition from that. Yeah, it did. It felt real good. It feels weird not throwing them, But it was a cool experience to I guess switch it up and contribute in a different way than I normally am used to. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, being quarterback, you got to know the whole offense. You got to know all the routes. You have to read coverages and stuff. So me making the transition to tight end, it was a lot easier for me just worrying about, I have this one route on this play. I don't have to worry about what everybody's doing. And also, like I said, just reading the coverages and certain plays that we have, I can understand, hey, I got to get my eyes around quicker than I would normally, because it's a blitz coming. So, yeah, just taking that mental aspect of it to that position has helped me out a lot, too. Definitely, yeah, Matt is, like, the most physical, guy I've ever probably been around, the most, like I said, just smart. He knows how to position himself when he blocks. So just watching him, in practice and in games and watching his technique has helped me tremendously. Yeah, it was my idea. I feel like I can contribute more to the team. Losing Drew Kite and JJ last year, I felt like we needed, some guys that, were knowledgeable about the offense and stuff at the tight end position. So I just decided to make the move. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, because like I said, you go from wearing a red jersey at practice, to in the trenches. So it has been a challenge, and it's still something I need to work on. But like I said, every day has been getting better. So I'm excited to see where by the end of the year where it ends up.